Hi, everybody. This is Zen Honeycutt of Moms Across America, and I am so excited today to bring to you a solution. We all know that our water is highly contaminated, glyphosate, all types of carcinogenic chemicals, and I'm here today with an expert from Water and Wellness, the co-founder. He is a chief science officer, a water technology scientist for 47 years, Robert Slovak. Welcome. It's such a pleasure.
Hi, Zen. Hi, Moms Across America attendees.
Great. Thank you for being with us today. We have a super special offer for everybody. We're so excited to offer a solution. So many people ask us, what do we do about our water? And we have a solution today. It's called AquaTru. But first, before we get into what it does and how it works, can you tell us, Robert, why is it so important to purify your water today?
Well, in the modern industrial world, we probably all have been educated that there's a lot of contamination, everything from disinfection byproducts to pharmaceuticals to synthetics and industrial chemicals and radioactivity, etc. And this has found its way even through the best municipal water treatment plants. And there's so much written about it that I think the public has largely been aware that there's not perfect water coming out of our taps.
Yeah, just recently, USA Today reported that in 2015, they now know, they've tracked that 21 million people in America are drinking water that has contamination above the, or which violates the health safety standards. So this is happening. It's not just in Flint, folks. It's happening right in our suburban neighborhood.
And even those health safety standards, which are the EPA water specifications for public water supplies, even those are a compromise. It is largely determined on what is affordable water, what can we do, how many contaminants can we remove. And with the amount of money that's allocated to it, there's a lot that simply gets through to the consumer.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's more awareness happening too. There's a new movie called The Devil We Know, if you haven't seen it, about the contamination from chemicals from Teflon and the Dow company. So if you haven't seen it, that's really important. And just recently in the news, PFOS and PFOA, am I saying that right? Were this current
PFOSs.
Yeah, this current administration refused to set a limit for how much of that could be in our water. That's very concerning. It's highly carcinogenic, isn't it?
And that's part of the reason. What's the expense to the consumer of removing it? And it simply gets voted down because it can't be removed economically at this time. We have to depend upon our own water treatment within our home and within our dwelling to be able to remove these sophisticated chemicals that have found their way into the water supply.
That's a very good point. We can no longer depend on our local water district or our government to remove these harmful chemicals. No. That's a sad fact. So we have a solution, this AquaTru filter. I'm especially excited about it because it has been shown to remove glyphosate. And oh dear, I don't have the sheet, but we did test for glyphosate, and you did as well, and it's been shown to remove glyphosate out of the water, and that's a very tricky endeavor. Glyphosate is very difficult to remove, so we're really excited about that. Thank you for testing for that.
You are very welcome.
So can you tell us how does AquaTru work, and particularly how is it better than other filters?
So there are really three primary methods of treating water supply at, we call the point of use, or POU, meaning in your home at some location to supply drinking water, water for cooking, etc. for your family. And one is the most simple of the filters, activated carbon filters. And these can be very good, but can't really handle the full range of what's been exposed in our water supply. And then there's distillation plus activated carbon. This is an excellent method of purifying water. And this is more than a filter. So distillation plus activated carbon, it's a sophisticated method, but it really never caught on because it's not very consumer friendly and it's quite expensive to boil water and recondense it, etc. Perhaps well over 90% of the bottled water companies that we respect in the world use a process called reverse osmosis. And it's a membrane separation technology that I've been involved in really since the early 1970s and helped develop it through till today. And
that's right. I forgot to mention that you've been working on this for 47 years in water technology. So Robert knows a thing or two about this.
So my company has built point of use RO systems, point of entry RO systems for almost 45 years. Okay.
Okay.
So my brother and I were among the real early developers of this technology. The AquaTru is a miniature bottled water plant, literally. It's a 4-stage system, way more than a filter system. It's a purification system that includes reverse osmosis, membrane separation, perhaps one of the great discoveries of the last century. It is used in every industry to make bottled water, to make laboratory water, to desalinate seawater, to make it fresh. It just goes on and on what its capability is. And then finally, the water passes through a final activated carbon filter to kind of polish the water, we say. And this, in the system, that 4-stage system is found under this.
Yeah, this is the
side. It's easy. This just pulls off. And these filters, which can easily twist off, and you get these filters separately in the box. You push them and twist them in, and they kind of fold down so you have easy access to them. Okay?
Yep.
And each of them will do that. We won't take them out now because of the time constraints, et cetera, et cetera. And then when they can be changed or installed at the beginning, you just put this. I'm not having a good leverage point.
Oh, yeah, it just snaps back on pretty easy. And it looks huge. You're looking at me on this camera, this angle. It looks huge, but it's actually the size of, I would say, about 2 gallons of water, like the size of it.
Well, it's basically 14 inches by 14 inches by 11 inches. So
yeah,
it's pretty small. And those of you who can see me, you can pick it up, you can move it. And what's great about this is that it really doesn't require an installation. You don't have to hook it up to anything. And that's a great problem these days, is to hook up filters to all this difference of faucets that are at kitchen sinks now. Some have sprayers and you can't hook them up. And then there's under sink installations, which are complicated, require professional service and installation people. But this is very—
Hang on a second, Robert, though, because how you sold me on this was what I had a reverse osmosis under the sink, big tank. And because we detected glyphosate in our water and we wanted to get it out, so we installed reverse osmosis and it did remove it. However, you mentioned that with that tank, there's something that a lot of people need to avoid, which is that it can grow microbes under the sink. Is that correct?
Unfortunately, perhaps one of the dirty little secrets of permanently installed conventional RO and filter systems is that in that environment, and with the tank that you are speaking of that goes with conventional RO systems, it becomes like a microbial incubator. Oh. And people never drain and use enough water from that tank. So it stays filled, not for weeks, not for just months, but even for years. The same water can remain in there because people never drain the tank. And I would warn, when I give talks to various consumer groups that are associated with special health problems, like the autism community, I would speak to this autism community and warn them that this can be very hazardous to your child's microbiome and their gut issues, et cetera, et cetera. And I would tell them, you have to drain this every other day, completely. And then you may even have to use a sterilizing method to kill the remaining bacteria. Well, I'm so happy to have discovered that this product does not give this problem.